Good morning, race fans, and welcome today at the races at Laurel Park on this absolutely stunning spring day. That's Keith Fustel. I'm Tim Tulloch. Keith, how you doing? And boy, spring has sprung in the Old Lion State.
Absolutely gorgeous out there. I saw the guys working on the turf course here this morning, so all set. Yeah, but we couldn't ask for a better day for racing. It's gorgeous out, very comfortable.
Certainly can't. It's great to have some fans back in the building. It was wonderful to walk up here to the studio, walk through the sports bars. The banks of TVs are on. All the action you need. Basketball, horse racing.
Yeah.
It's all right here at Laurel Park. So come on out if you can. Come early because we do have a little bit of a limit on our fans. But it's just good to have some life back in the building.
Yeah, I tell you, I saw that yesterday, unfortunately. About 15, 20 fans out there, and I'm like, man, I just wish we could just kind of bring them on in or get a way they can get some wagers. I was saying maybe have somebody go out and get the First Bet app, get them out there and get them set up with that, with maybe a little free voucher, maybe. I don't know.
Sure, a TV out there.
Yeah.
And and let them go.
Yeah.
The interesting idea. Maybe we can present that to the.
My ideas never go anywhere. No.
Yeah.
No. Just
Well,
I'm out of
can't
it.
quit trying.
I don't know anything. 30 years in this game, I know nothing. Just I can see it. Yes.
Listen, this game, quite like golf, has a way to keep you humble.
Yeah.
At best.
Yeah.
For sure. As we mentioned, just a beautiful day out here today, Keith, and the weather is great. The racetrack is even better.
Absolutely. Look at this. I mean, yesterday again, racetrack hedging a little bit on that speed side. I thought for the most part. Yeah, Bolivar did come from further back off poorly, but they went pretty spirited out their contested pace to set things up. But yeah, track in good condition though. We're looking good. Turf getting a little greener out there. So yeah, ready to roll for a Sunday day of racing.
It won't be long. We get back on the grass, and we'll certainly welcome that. But we have a nice card this afternoon, and why don't we just dive right into it, Keith?
Okay.
We get started at race 1. The early pick 5 gets started 50%, 50 cent minimum, 12% industry low takeout. That's races 1 through 5, and a mandatory takeout. Race 1 is for maiden 40 types. Fillies and mares going a mile and 16th, and we both land on the 6 Goldfinch for Rodney Jenkins. We haven't seen this one since last December.
Right.
Coming off this break and stretches out for the first time.
Yeah, but I tell you what, he's got a field that's just nobody wants to go to the front, right? And you're looking at the breeding on the bottom side. There's distance there in that pedigree.
Sure.
Goldfinch should be fresh, ready to roll. I'm not worried about the 6 post here in this field. I think she's able to clear off and go ahead and dictate it. Hard to find any value in the opener. It looks like 5 or 6 should win this race. If anybody else gets there, man, you're good, and you got some luck.
And we saw Ty Liapacino do the same thing yesterday on Haynes Fever. Going a mile and an eighth. Drew the rail, got to the front, and milked it all the way around there on the lead. Yes, Goldfinch looks pretty good in the opener coming off this layoff. Some decent works for Rodney Jenkins, and as you mentioned, the breeding suggests that the distance shouldn't be a problem. It might even get better. The 5, Polish Cookie for Ferris Allen, third off the layoff, but it's been in pretty decent form. Last 2 starts going 7/8 of a mile.
Yeah, has the recency edge, no doubt about it. It looks like the staying power certainly against this group. Bottom side, you see, it's a half. This horse is a half to John Jones. So, yeah, you're thinking, all right, the mile and 16th should be okay. But, she's going to have to, maybe be used a little bit to keep the 6 in her sights. I think if the 6 is allowed to kind of lope along on the front end, she'll be okay and be able to stretch it here.
We see the opener quite the same.
Okay.
In fact, exactly the same in race 1 as we move to race 2. Scratch the 1, Promenade Princess. And Keith, you have the 6 on top, Utterly Enchanting. So do I. And this one's shown flashes of form in 3 of his last 4 starts.
Yeah, and again, you're looking at a field. I originally liked Promenade Princess, scratch, as is the 5 is out of here. But, they weren't really rolling out there last time. Out the 2-back try, some pretty good internals. But I just think with a rider like Acosta and you're looking at the rest of the group, just going to be able to go ahead and be aggressive up front and looking at the rest of them, who's going to have that closing ability to get past? Maybe a horse like Millie Child. We have a video, right, of her going back September 5th. And the one thing about Millie Child is we know she can run well fresh. She's okay fresh. She won the debut. She hasn't necessarily needed that setup to get the job done, and you're going to see evidence in this race that leader was out there a little clear, got hooked. A battle did develop, here from the 3/16, but a really good ride by Toledo, working to the outside, a steady grinding type of runner. Millie Child, I like her here at this distance. She's fresh. She's ready to go, ready to roll. Tony Aguirre doing good work right now. He's on a bit of a roll as well. So she is consistent. There's no doubt about it. Her figures work, always in that kind of lower to mid-50s, and that's what it's going to take to win this race.
There's no doubt about it. She is that type. She's a closing sprinter, and the 5.5 works for her. 2 wins and a second from 4 starts. Her figures certainly work in this spot. The 3 had the notion, maybe goes off his favorite, maybe not, but pretty close.
Yeah.
Well beaten third in his last start, but 2 starts ago, not bad.
Yeah, I think both of these Dale's horses are going to be very, very. Well, I shouldn't say that. I'm thinking that horse was Dale, but no, going to be close with Arlene Cheney. But had the notion. Was with the grain of the racetrack last time. Out 6 wide, was in the best part, just didn't bring enough. Stay out, was able to kind of dictate. But, I guess it's hard to leave that one out of your exactus.
Yeah, I think so. 2 sharp works since that last race, a couple halves in 48 and change. Those are good forward works for Dale Capuano. 6-7 in race 2 for Keith, 6-3 for myself.
Right.
As we move to race 3, this is a maiden event for 4 and 5-year-olds. Going 3/4 of a mile, claiming price $16,000. And Keith, Super High 5 gets underway here. Every race with 7 or more runners, Super High 5 is available. No carryover from yesterday, but we'll get started in race 3.
Okay.
And Keith, you have the 4 on top, Day of Honor. Why not? First off the claim for Crystal Pickett, and this one has shown steady improvement since coming off of that layoff from August to December.
Steady improvement, a closing type who overcame a lot of trouble last time. You see it squeezed at the break, was inside, was outside, and kept on trying to the wire. Mr. Shades of Gray going to be a very, very short price in here. He's had some issues himself out of the gate. He's got to turn a foot. It's the barn that's trying, McBurney's been around a long time. I remember up in Jersey. Maryland has not been kind to him when it comes to winning. So there's the kind of knock from a price standpoint. He is the horse to beat, clearly. Sure. He's been consistently faster. But why not Dave on a little barn change here to maybe pull a mild upset, Mr. Shades of Gray? One for I've got a 1 for 40 something the last.
Yeah, and that's exactly what I have in my notes, and we both have a Pat McBurney horse on top later in the card.
Yeah.
But look, that's exactly my comment. I picked this one on top with a little bit of trepidation. Certainly, the outfit has sent over horses that look live. Yeah. And they just haven't been coming through. But maybe Mr. Shades of Gray, and later on the day that can work. But yeah, just been a little cool.
Yes.
Cool here in Maryland. The 5 lifespan for Jose Corrales, always. Sneaky Jose Corrales, disappointing in last as a favorite. Returns first off the claim for Jose. Pretty good first off the claim.
Yeah, Distant Thunder just too good on the front end last time out. Wants a little bit of help, it looks like. 2-back try was encouraging. Had to nicely work through a big field, got through some traffic, down to the inside. Yeah, Jose Corrales with these maiden claimers, he hits at a pretty good clip, no doubt. Decent ROI. Going to have to improve just a little bit more, I think.
The 4 Day of Honor for Keith. The 3 Mr. Shades of Gray for myself in race 3 as we move to race 4. Race 4 kicks off the Rainbow Pick 6. We have a little bit of a carryover in the Rainbow Pick 6, $1,217. I'll have a ticket for that later in the day, but it also kicks off the Middle Pick 4. And Keith, you put together a nice $32 ticket for us.
Yeah, a little more than I'd like. There's a couple favorites in here that I don't think are stone cold winners. They're going to take some play, no doubt. But I had to stretch this a little bit. $32. Race 4. Dave Ward, I think back inside speed and some stamina is going to be tough. A little difficult trip. That was a little better group last time. So I go 1-6 in here. 3 and 8 in the 5th. 8's going to be, I think, a single for a lot of people today here on the drop down to the bottom here for Sheldon Russell, Brittany Russell. Gator 52. I mean, maybe a bit of a reach, but I like the improvement. We'll talk about why. In race 6, 3, 4, 5, 6. You got yourself with some 3-year-olds, some first-time starters that look like they're bred to do okay early. I've got to leave them in there. So some horses have shown some talent right out of the box. So 3, 4, 5, 6 in there. Race 7, 1, 3, 5, 7. There's another Brittany Russell, Sheldon Russell combo that's going to be awfully short as well. Fast break, off like 380 days or so.
Yep.
I don't know. I mean, he's going to take a ton of play. Maybe he's another one that's going to be a single for a lot of people. I'm going to try to get past him.
Sure, I did single on the 8 in race 5, but I did not single in race 7. I mean, Brittany's very, very good off that type of layoff. However, there's always questions when you're coming off that long of a time. $32 ticket for Keith Fustel in the middle pick 4. You can check out all our tickets. Just go to laurelpark.com and click on the handicap section, and they will appear for this afternoon's card. Race 4, as I mentioned, kicks off the Rainbow Pick 6. This is for fillies and mares. We start for claiming price of $16,000 or less in their last 3 starts, or claiming price $25,000, going the 1-turn mile. And Keith, you and I both have Desbordes on top for Kieran McGee, stretching back out and gets back onto a fast racetrack this afternoon.
Yeah, and last time out, there was just some quicker types in there early. She just didn't quite have that kind of speed. I thought she might be able to kind of sit a little trip just off and bring a finish. No, they didn't really come back to what she thought. But she was trying at the end. I like that. Kieran's going to stay here, keep her protected. Yeah, she might take some pressure from Tequila Fog, but she's got that staying power here and the combination of speed. I think she's going to be awfully tough. 4 for 6 at the distance. I'll come right back here with the board.
They're going to have to get away from that, the 1 hole. We've seen that be a little bit of an issue for some horses going the 1-turn mile, but I like her very much. Also, nice work since that last race. The 6, well, you've got to love Annika Gold. She's an 11-time winner. She returns off a short break for Hugh McMahon. We saw Hugh McMahon come back with Margie's Heaven yesterday off the same type of break, get to the front. And that was all it took.
Yeah, Annika Gold is not as quick, I don't think, as Tequila Fog or Desbordes, but she's consistent as can be, and a little freshening. You got that mile work under her belt. That's something that Hugh likes to do. She's going to be able to draft in shorter field. She's going to be able to work out a very good trip. It's that last 8. Is she going to sustain? She's been flattening just a touch. But if things get really heated between this 1 and the 3, say mid-turn, legitimately she could do it. And I think Sweet Home Dixie, you've got to expect some improvement for her, lurking there at about 9-2 or 5-1 for Hammy Smith. She put together a string of races, but she's had some breaks. Is she ever going to get back to that form which she showed quite a while back? That's the biggest question. But her close to her top could get her over the top.
Her top wins this race. It's just a question if she's ready. She's had 3 consecutive breaks but on her back form in 2019. Early 2020. This was a mare who was in just excellent form. Where she reeled off 5 in a row there, 6 in a row, 5 in a row, and then things have gone a little south for her. But she's had a little bit of a break, a few works for Hammy Smith, and the Hammy Smith barn has certainly been warming up as of late. It is time for us to take a little bit of a break. When we come back, we'll talk about a very interesting late pick 5. We saw it on your ticket in the middle pick 4, which features a maiden special weight and 2 allowance races. We'll be right back.
And they're off. Second in the 2-path. Ground on her inside. Race. And a quarter of a mile to go, and he's 6 on top. Last of the 12 as they roll into the backstretch.
Welcome back to Today at the Races. I'm Tim Tulloch, joined by Keith Fustel. We're going to look at the second half of our card, and it kicks off the late pick 5. No carryover from yesterday, but as always, 50-cent minimum, 12% industry low takeout. And as we mentioned earlier, Keith, there could be some value in this late pick 5, so I hope everybody gets involved. The race 5 is for 4-year-olds and up, non-winners of 3 lifetime for the nickel level, going a mile. And Keith, both you and I are on the 8 Titans Will. For the Russells, We have a video from his last start, which was his first start here at Laurel Park, and things just didn't get off as well as we might have planned.
No, you see that. A little bobble, off slow with the break. And that definitely cost him a little bit there. He was even money in this race. A race won by the other, the other Brittany Russell horse, Bahamian Channel.
Yes.
But, he was just kind of lagging. Really, out there wide, really wasn't kicking it in. And then finally leaving the 3/16, you see him starting to kind of a little closer, start picking up a little bit of momentum. The duel develops up front, and he kind of drifts in a little bit here late, if I'm not mistaken. Gets in behind horses, has to shift out. That last little surge just couldn't quite get up. They were walking the dog up front, though.
Sure.
He needs a little bit more flow. He's going to have some speed to target here. Korzak has got some speed. Nobody else, maybe get your 52 off the sprint could be close, but he's got to be involved a little bit more by the time they hit mid-turn.
Let's talk about Korzak for a minute, because this one's very interesting to me. Getting back to this nickel level at his preferred distance, and you look at the races recently while going long, they're good, strong efforts.
Yeah, I've been chasing this horse. I tried him in the sprint 2 races back. He just couldn't quite do it after some early trouble. This is the level back to where he needs to be, just like the favorite Titansville dropping back down here to the nickel. He's shown the ability to stretch it pretty far. Would not be a surprise to me in this basically paceless race.
And he certainly prefers that fast track, and that's what he's going to get this afternoon. 8-1 on the morning line for Jose Ramirez. We move on to race 6. This is a maiden special weight for 3-year-olds going 3/4 of a mile. We're going to start with your top pick, the 3 Sibelius, a first-time starter for Jeremiah Dwyer. Johan Rosado, the very hot Johan Rosado, gets the call this afternoon, comes in here with a solid work tab. And you have a stat for Jeremiah Dwyer.
Yeah, for the last 3 years on the dirt here at Laurel with the first-time starters in the maiden special weight variety. Look at that, 5 for 22, 23% ROI, a good one. 469, and looking at the breeding, not this time, the sire. A newer stallion here, 22% with the first-time starters. Let's go look at the bottom side. The mare was unraced. Out of the family, 3 debut winners, 4 of 6 in the money. I like that, and the works really hasn't missed a beat. I'm going to take a shot here with the 3 Sibelius.
Yeah, very complete professional work tab coming into this race, and some pretty nice works, 101 and 2, going 5/8 of a mile, and then a decent gate work, which I always like to see sitting on top of the race. I have the 4 Reckless Place on top. 4 Pat McBurney. Farron Peterson gets the call. We have a video from her his debut race on March 5th. Also includes the 1 John the Bear.
Yeah, John the Bear, that particular afternoon was down inside battling. He brought that speed off the debut. It was a pretty good effort, just a little bit of a fade late. Reckless Pace, find himself about 5 or 6 out of it early and really kind of works. It looks like, Jock wanted to kind of work out through a seam between horses. The rail opens up. He's a winner, right? He's a winner. He's going to win. Nope, here comes exculpatory for Reed, who overcame some adversity, serious adversity around a turn. I tell you, but take nothing away from Reckless Place. That was a good effort. The fig is there, a 58 buyer. I think he's going to be fine right back, gets that speed to target. And the 1, I'm sure a couple of these other ones are going to show some speed, including Kieran's horse, Cry No More.
Cry No More shows some speed. But, you just have to be happy with that type of race first time out. Ran professional, was taking the worst of it, ran into some dirt, stayed up on the inside, was brave enough to go in between the inside rail and horses. I just got beat by a horse that was a little bit better that particular day, but hopefully Reckless Place can come back and duplicate that race. Cry No More. Look, can't take anything away from his first time out. He did all the work and just simply got a little bit late. Comes back here this afternoon with a work sense.
Yeah, I thought that was an encouraging debut. Johnny Sack, I wish us luck. Johnny Sack, I'm waiting for him to run back. I just was thoroughly impressed by that effort. But Cry No More, again, should definitely benefit from debut and hang around here against this field. So, you got Trombetta, too. We're talking about trainers that do well with first-time starters, the maiden special weight variety. I mean, Trombetta's been like, I think, over 20% 100% with this kind of move of late over the last like 3 years. So this is no. He's got the 5 and the 7. I lean towards the 5 of the first-time starters. Both Sibs to race are winners. Remember horse Olympic Village that ran around here.
Yep.
He's a half to Olympic Village. I think that horse won second time out. So, yeah, interesting little race here. I'll take a shot with the $100,000 purchase, Sebelius.
They weren't afraid to spend a little bit of money on this one, so maybe Sebelius can start to return on their investment this afternoon as we move to race 7. Kicks off the late pick 3. And, of course, this is a nice first-level allowance condition for older boys. And, Keith, you land on the 7. I like the 7 a little bit.
Yeah.
Point-driven for Carlos Mencia. Winner first off the claim for Carlos. And Carlos's barn has been rolling right along. They're winning at 22% at this winter meet.
Yeah, he's like 3 for 5 his last 5, last 21 days or so. I kind of looked and yeah, point driven. New barn got a little bit of a setup last time at 5.5. I think 7 is well within the scope. I like this move here. Protecting, confident move. You've got some speed right down to the inside. Fast break. New Frontier with Al. These two are gonna, I think, set a pretty good honest pace. Even Al Brown has got some flow when he's on his game. So point driven. I think he's an improving type. That was a nice little jump last time. Okay, group. Why not? This is a barn that's doing quite well. And they do well second off the claim if you go back and check, too.
Yeah, it's a barn that's been doing very, very well lately and well at this meet. You like the 5 Silent Malice. I have a little interest in this one also.
Yep.
Look, this is a 4-year-old who's been holding his form for close to a year now. I mean, he simply hasn't run a bad race in a year.
Yeah.
So I expect him to show up again this afternoon coming out of these mile races where he's been quite good.
Yeah, and I think the key, you got to go inside. Let's take a look at the fast break. You've got that gaudy 87. It was a year ago. It was in New York. Now we got a barn change. It was the horse that was Jason Service. So, okay, think what you want. Comes back a first time gelding. All right. I just there's something
no
to
doubt.
me looking at that. The
fish?
works aren't glaring, and I think I just don't think he's going to have an easy go of it with this 2-horse in here right next to him. We'll see.
Maybe not. The horse, Brittany, very good off this type of layout.
Yeah.
41%. They just blare. I stayed with this horse. This is a horse that just, again, has never run a bad race in his career, and the numbers stick out. But he's been running those type of numbers, 87, 84. It is a barn change. There is concern there, but coming off that long layoff gets Sheldon aboard. I'm going to stay with fast break here in race 7. But
that's your hunch play, right, with the NCAA hoops tourney going on, right? The fast break.
Yeah. We're going to get to that a little bit later on. Let's move to race 8. This is a state-bred first-level allowance race going 3/4 of a mile for 4-year-olds and up, and we are going to start with the 8 on the outside. Your top pick, 455 Rocket for Damon Dilodovico. Second off a layoff in his last start. We're going to take a look at that race with the 2 Great Go-Go.
Yeah, this is the 25th, okay? We've talked about a couple days that the track is played a certain way. 25th was a pretty good speed day, and you see Great Go-Go was going to battle every step of the way down to the inside. 450 Rocket, the 8 horses particular afternoon, settled about 2 wide around the turn. 5.5, maybe a touch too short, but really picks it up late. Just really watch this horse level off the last, 50 yards or so here. Really picks it up, was knifing his way in between horses, and was ready to go from there. So he's a third-time gelding. He's third off the layoff here for Damon. This is a good angle. Last 2 years on the dirt, 6 for 21. With the dirt sprints, third off of a layoff. This kind of layoff, 60 to 180. ROI is a positive one. There's dead speed right to his inside and nautical nature. Maybe in self-awareness wants to kind of be with the flow. He's fresh, so I think he will not be hung terribly wide. Okay, you don't have to make an effort to get right to the rail, but I think he can drop in a few paths, relax off of this speed a little bit, and make a run into it. Third off the break.
Of course, the 2 Great Go-Go looks like he's going to be going straight to the front this afternoon. Another good inside draw. But ran a big race first off the claim for Mikey Gorman's last start.
He did, but he's going to have to deal with nautical nature a little bit up front. Nautical nature is very fast. I think the track carried him a little bit last time out. We'll see if the track is helping speed that much. But 25th was a clear speed day. I expect some pressure. looking for maybe to fade a little bit late. Setting this up, Mice and Men is a horse I've been chasing. I thought last time was the time for him. He had some trouble trips. He just didn't fire last time. I'm giving him one more shot here. Sheldon gets the mount to come from just off of it.
Yeah, he gets back to 3/4 of a mile, where I think he's a little bit better than going the 5.5. Also, a horse that we both have on our ticket, and this could set up well for another barn who's red hot, Mario Saray,
yes.
the one Tom Terrific, 10-1 on the morning line, and both you and I give him some consideration.
Yeah, he's run some races that work. You know, I see Redeem Eddie, odds on, some good horses that they're key kind of horses at the level. Take into account that this barn you're talking about, red hot right now. Grant Whitaker is riding well. Love the way he's riding. You know, I've always been a fan of Grant, you know, kind of an underdog there. But he's not well. He gets along with horses usually pretty good early, gets them to settle. He will save ground, and that's what this horse is going to do. He's going to get that ground-saving trip around the turn. Then he's going to work his way out, I think, the final quarter. No surprise at all if he hits the board at a square price. I do think he's going to get away at 10 or 12-1.
Most likely, Grant Whitaker gave Mario's horse just a perfect ride yesterday. The horse's name escapes me for the moment, but just a perfect
Pete's
ride.
Pride.
Excuse me?
Pete's Pride, and
that's right.
And also five-car draw just got beat with a good ride.
Yep. Pete's Pride just laid in behind that speed and watched it go on and came with a good finish. That is a race 8. Keith has the 8 on top. 4:55 rocket for Damon Delavigo. I have the 3 Mice and Men. Going to go back to Dale Capuano here in race 8 as we move to the nightcap. The maiden 10. We love the maiden 10, and we love the last race. Did you see what the last race handled yesterday? Wow, out of this world. Over 300,000. They love the nightcap here at Laurel Park. And we'll talk about your top pick, the 4, Manklin Creek, for the always sneaky, maybe a touch slippery Jose Corrales. Alexander Chavez gets the call, and 2 back. This one ran a pretty decent race.
Let's see if we can get Chavez back to the winner's circle. This horse has to come away better. Gate issues the last 2. He's got the stamina build up, and that's what I'm banking on. I know this kid's going to be able to save some ground. He's not scared to do that. So Manklin Creek for me on top, and I think a real scramble. This is an all race if you can afford it. Ladies and gentlemen, I can't give you a confident seal of approval on any one of these. So if you can do it, if you can work a ticket out, be comfortable with everybody in here if you can.
Well, that's why I went for a little bit of a price. I got the run back on top, the 6 for Jerry Robb, stretching out for the first time, running right back. Just ran on March 14th. But look, this one got a little out. It's been an outrun going short, but maybe he can get in a good position and come with a little bit of a finish this afternoon. Jerry Robb pretty good when he takes one from sprint the route. Of course, the 2, Pat's Factor, probably goes off as a favorite with the scratch of the 1, Unbridled Parrot.
Yeah, it's going to be close. I mean, I've got the 3, maybe a little bit lower, but it's anybody's ball game in here. I tell you, you'd have to take 3-1. You can't take anything less than that on any horse in this race. You demand a little bit of value. So, yeah, Pat's Factor, just a little bit even. Effort was there, but I expected a little bit more punch late. Here comes Rudy Horse stretching out by Gradar. Comes out of the quicker internals. Chase dropped back, came back a little bit. Maybe this is the horse. You know, they did it yesterday, Tyus Lipestein and Rudy. Maybe they'll go ahead and just try to send and steal it. There's not a whole lot to outrun early. Save maybe the 7, which that gets the blinkers.
Yeah, the 7. I use the 7. Maybe this one improves for Jeremiah Dwyer. Fergal Lynch returns on the 7. Always Biz. That takes care of the card for today's Sunday edition here at Laurel Park. Hopefully we gave you some insight and some good information about today's card. But Keith, it's time for the lightning round here today at the races. And we're going to start with Naomi Tucker to Dubai. We are like the Durham Bulls when it comes to broadcasting. A lot of good people have come through Maryland and gone on to the show. And certainly Naomi Tucker going over to Dubai to be taking notes for that big event.
Oh, no, good to start. She works hard. I mean, she's young. She wants to kind of get out there and expand her horizons, I guess, and she has the talent to do it. So safe travels to her. She's going to do just fine.
And we're happy. We're a little older. We're here.
Yeah, I'm fine right
fine.
here. Yeah,
TVG's probably not in our future.
No.
Maybe someday. But it's great to watch the young talent move on a little bit. She will be back, folks.
Yeah.
Don't worry about that. It's just going to be a couple weeks to get back here. Also, Johan Rosado, big day for Johan Rosado. 1-1 on Friday, but he had a triple yesterday.
Yeah, riding well. I mean, he's always had the talent, no doubt. He's getting maybe a little bit more live horses, maybe more recently, and he's not missing, which you like to see. And we know this game. You run in streaks. So if he's looking live and he's got something, you just stay with him. Ride the hot hand.
Right,
Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely right. And one of his winners yesterday was a 007 in one of our features. And 007 is Escapability. They put on a show, and we're going to pick this one up at the top of the stretch.
Yeah, and this is a race. I like Soularis Barbados, and they're at the quarter pole. I'm thinking, okay, I'm laying perfect here, right? These two on the front end, Escapability, 007, they're just in their own match race, and just sheer determination from both horses. Nobody really wants to give up at all. 007 just a little bit better now. The blinkers came back off, edging away. He's a nice sprinter. I mean, I think he's a horse, too, that can come off a little bit further from the pace if he needs to, sprinting and take nothing away from the effort from the third-place finisher. He was giving effort every step of the way. That track was just a little quick, just helped that speed. But those two up front, that's what you like in this game. Good
kudos to 007 because in pre-race, we'd been a little concerned that maybe that sloppy track made that one a little bit better and that gaudy number would be over better. Ended up, I think, going off as a slight favorite, but backed up that big race on the sloppy track yesterday.
Absolutely. They looks like they've got him figured out exactly what he needs. And I think he's going to stay right in that mix of those, upper tier sprinters around here, no doubt.
All right, Keith, we're about 40 days out from the Kentucky Derby, and Life is Good is out.
Yeah.
Are you surprised off of that San Felipe effort?
For Life is Good being out, I just heard that, he came out of a workout a little off, quote unquote. But he was showing some serious talent, and I think they even said he's not going into the Derby, right?
He's off the Derby trail.
Yeah.
I was concerned about Life is Good. There's no question this horse has sheer talent, and I commented to my wife, but swapping his lead off almost midway through the turn, getting out all the way through the lane.
Yeah, it was getting out, yep.
Was it mental or physical? There was some things that weren't quite right. Clearly a talent. However, Hot Rod Charlie, the Louisiana Derby winner for our favorite Doug O'Neill, big win yesterday.
Yeah, I mean, I'll have another, right? I mean, Hot Rod Charlie, I went and I kind of watched the race last night, went back and looked at the PPs, a little surprised. Was there, took the incentive. There were some other speed types in there. I did not see that trip coming, but he was ready to roll. He put him to the inside, handled the pressure, came back with a 99 buyer. Good, legitimate buyer. You look breeding, bottom side. He's a half to Matoli, who was a really crack
fast
sprinter. We saw him win the Chick Lang.
Sure.
Well, visually one of the best efforts I've ever seen in the sprint here in Maryland. But he is a horse that stretched it out to a mile, Matoli. So, yeah, we'll see. But he's shown the ability to come from just off of it. He is definitely making strides at the right time, Hot Rod Charlie. So.
Well, we're always rooting for Doug O'Neill to win the Derby. Won it with I'll Have a Number and Nyquist. He leaves Kentucky. He comes here early. He appreciates the job the team does here at the Maryland Jockey Club, and he brings the party to us. So we're always rooting for Doug O'Neill in the Derby. And finally, Keith, let's talk a little hoops. Okay. Maryland upsets UConn yesterday, moves on to the second round, takes on Alabama tomorrow.
Yeah, I think the early line is 5. I think Maryland can cover, if not win the game. Alabama, I was talking to Vinny Prone, who watches a lot of college basketball, said they're a talented team, but Maryland's length and the defense that they can bring could prove a little thorn in the side of Alabama. I think Maryland's got a shot in there.
Defensively, yesterday they were shutting down UConn. It was pretty impressive, and of course the Lady Terps, one of the best women's team in the country. They get started in their tournament tomorrow afternoon at 4 o'clock.
Yes.
That's going to do it for Keith and I. A little horse racing, a little basketball.
Yeah.
Come out and join us if you can. Of course, Dave Rodman's coming up next with Scratches and Changes.
You got it. Good luck, everybody.
Go Terps.